knapsacks are packed. Yeshaya d'Alsace accompanies his daughters to school. Now, after the attack in Toulouse, French Jews are more cautious than before. The rabbi wears a cap over his kippah or yarmulke. Not everyone has to see that he's a Jew. His children attend the state school, not the district's Jewish school. That already reduces the danger.
We're careful, but attacks always come when you least expect them. So there's no point in driving yourself crazy, otherwise you can't live a normal life anymore.
Many French Jews stress that they refuse to be intimidated. But in the past, anti-Semitic attacks have frequently been carried out at schools. The police have now reinforced their protection for Jewish schools. Jewish life and culture are heavily guarded. In Paris's Jewish quarter, the Marais, no one wants to barricade themselves. These young people dance and sing Jewish songs when they see the camera. They are French, but many also identify with Israel.
The murderer of Toulouse said he wanted to avenge the death of Palestinian children. But Palestinian parents misuse their children as human shields, and then we are depicted as murderers.
The perpetrator of the murders in Toulouse, Mohamed Merah, was not much older than these young people, a confused radical Islamist. And he's not the only one. Hate crimes are increasingly committed against Jews in broad daylight. Many Jews feel threatened. A climate of fear has spread. Anna, another daughter of Rabbi Yeshaya, is afraid of gangs of Islamist youths.
I wear a Star of David on a chain. I want to continue to wear it, but I keep an eye on who gets on the bus. When the gangs from the suburbs get on board, I quickly slip it under my sweater.
Islamists against Jews, members of one minority against another. With the attack in Toulouse, terrorism has resurfaced in France. The French political parties suspended the election campaign out of respect for the mourners. But Michel Viviorca, who conducts research on racism, says that the extreme right will use the attacks to further polarize French society. In this broadcast, Marine Le Pen, Front National party leader, says it's time to wage war against these political and religious fundamentalists who are killing our children.
The Front National's big advantage just now is that it no longer stands for anti-Semitism, but for a struggle against the Muslims. But of course, anti-Semitism is still there. Just a few months ago, Le Pen attended a ball in Vienna that was staged by right-wing extremists.
France is the home of Europe's largest Jewish community. Jews felt welcome here, though in the past French society has harbored concealed resentment of them. For a long time, France did not officially recognize that the Vichy regime collaborated with the Nazis' persecution of Jews. Now, the terrorism of a radical Arab has the Jewish community worried about whether it can protect itself. At a memorial event for the victims in Toulouse, Imam Hassan Khagoumi called on his fellow Muslims to distance themselves from anti-Semitism and to show unconditional solidarity with the Jewish community. For his stance, he's received murder threats from radical Islamists.
I am afraid that the fundamentalists will grow ever stronger. And I'm also afraid that we Muslims will all be lumped in with the fundamentalists. The moderate Muslims are caught between a rock and a hard place: radical Islamists and French racists.
More and more Jewish families wonder whether they have a future in France. Each year, about 2,000 French Jews emigrate to Israel. In France, the d'Alsace family continues to celebrate the Sabbath. They refuse to leave their home country and thus face a challenge.
We had the impression that nothing could happen to us because we were born after the Shoah, and something that terrible simply couldn't happen again. But for about 10 years now, that has changed. Now I think that we too live in danger. Every generation is in danger.
Sabbath candles and a prayer in the shadow of the attack on Toulouse. The rabbi's family trusts in God to protect its 5 children from extremists.